Good Thursday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversations Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, we made it over the hump, and we're in the home stretch toward the weekend. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up on this Thursday. We have the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and in today's Entertainment Spotlight, you're being part of my conversation with author Dan Burns. Enjoy today's program. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Thursday headlines. In national news, while U.S. summer surge is waning, more mandates in the works. COVID-19 deaths in the U.S. are coming down again, hospitalizations are dropping, and new cases per day are about to dip below 100,000 for the first time in 2 months, all signs that the summer surge is waning. Not wanting to lose momentum, government leaders and employers are looking to strengthen vaccine requirements. Los Angeles enacted one of the nation's strictest vaccine mandates on Wednesday, a sweeping measure that would require the shots for everyone entering a bar, restaurant, nail salon, gym, or Lakers game. New York City and San Francisco have similar rules. Minnesota's governor this week called for vaccine and testing requirements for teachers and long-term care facilities. In New York, a statewide vaccination mandate for all hospitals and nursing home workers will be expanded today to home care and hospice employees. Across the nation, deaths per day have dropped by nearly 15% since mid-September and are now averaging about 1,700. New cases have fallen to just over 103,000 per day on average, a 40% decline over the past 3 weeks. The number of Americans now in the hospital with COVID-19 has declined by about 1/4 since its most recent peak of almost 94,000 a month ago. The decreases have been especially sharp in several deep South states, where cases have gone down more twice as fast as they have nationwide. Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Arkansas also their case numbers cut in half over the past 2 weeks. In more national news, McConnell offers Democrat short-term debt fix amid standoff. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell on Wednesday told Democrats he would allow an emergency debt limit extension into December, edging back from a perilous standoff by offering a potential path to avoid a federal default. A procedural vote on legislation that would suspend the debt limit for 2 years was delayed abruptly, and the Senate recess so lawmakers could discuss next steps. This will moot Democrats' excuses about the time crunch they created and give the unified Democratic government more than enough time to pass standalone debt limit legislation through reconciliation, McConnell said. It also will allow Republicans to avoid the blame they would have gotten from some quarters for blocking a vote on the longer extension. Earlier on Wednesday, President Joe Biden enlisted top business leaders to push for immediately suspending the debt limit, saying the approaching October 18th deadlines created the risk of a historic default that would be like a meteor that could crash the economy and financial markets. He leaned into the credibility of corporate America, a group that has traditionally been aligned with the GOP on tax and regulatory issues, to drive home his point as the head of Citi, J.P. Morgan Chase, and NASDAQ gathered in person and virtually to say the debt limit must be lifted. It is not right and it's dangerous, Biden said of the resistance by Senate Republicans. So let's end this mess and vote today. His moves came amid talks that Democrats might try to change Senate filibuster rules to get around Republicans, but Senator Joe Manchin reiterated his opposition to such a change on Wednesday, likely taking it off the table for Democrats. In more national news, California oil spill renews calls to ban offshore drilling. California has been a leader in restricting offshore oil drilling since the infamous 1969 Santa Barbara spill that sparked the modern environmental movement, and the latest spill off Huntington Beach is prompting fresh calls for an end to such drilling. That's easier said than done, even in California. While the state hasn't issued a new lease in state water in 5 decades, drilling from existing platform continues. In business news, stocks edge higher as Wall Street shakes off volatility. Stocks recovered from an early slide on Wall Street to close with modest gains on Wednesday as investors held out hope that Congress may yet be able to temporarily extend the federal government's debt ceiling and buy lawmakers time to reach a more permanent solution. And finally, in entertainment news, Brady's return leads NBC to strong Sunday football ratings. NBC relentlessly promoted the Tampa Bay quarterback's return to New England, and the Bucs-Patriot game reached the biggest Sunday night football audience in years, the Nielsen Company said this week. The 27 million people who tuned in represented NBC's biggest television audience for the game, since 2015. Add in people who streamed it, and the game reached 28 million, the biggest Sunday night football crowd since 2012. Despite that competition, CBS 60 Minutes reached 10 million people, its largest audience since last January. Viewership was about 12 million for the first part of the show, before the competing football game started, and during the story about Facebook whistleblower Frances Haugen. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, take it away.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. You are worthy. You are worthy as you are a beloved child of God. You have value as a person. Never allow any person to hold you back or tell you otherwise. At times you will stumble and fall, yet when you know your worth, not simply as a human being, and as a blessed child of God, you can go forward with hope, happiness, joy, and a heart full of love to do or achieve anything. This gives you the strength, courage, and belief to never give up on yourself or God. Your worthiness, God's love, is what you are made of in your soul. Your knowingness in your worth keeps you going through all of life's challenges. The opportunities in front of you are God's blessings. Today, show appreciation for God's blessings by making the most of all opportunities as you are worthy. And always remember to enjoy the day.
Author Dan Burns is featured in today's Entertainment Spotlight, right here on Conversations Daily News. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Author Dan Burns joined me recently on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about his new book, A Necessary Explosion, Collected Poems. Here's a bit of our conversation. What has that been like for you to have readers that have kind of followed your career and been able to follow you from book to book?
Well, I certainly appreciate that comment. And, it really just comes down to the story. I love reading stories in a variety of different formats. And as a writer, I like to explore all of those formats as well. So, depending on the idea, the topic, what I'm feeling at the particular time, sometimes a poem makes most sense. Other times a short story can work. And for those ideas that I explore and really never leave me alone, then I'll explore them further in a longer form, like a novel. But I've always just tried to focus on stories that people can relate to. And I think that's it's kept me grounded, it's kept me connected with my readers, and it's allowed me to try a lot of different things and have my readership follow along. It's been fantastic.
I know you've been very committed not only to your own career, but also helping to foster the talent of others, to help others. Why has that been such an important thing for you to make sure that you're doing?
Well, as we talked before, it's been important for me in my development as a writer to be able to rely on people I know and people I respect in the writing industry to learn from them. And I've had many mentors who have helped me along the way. And so I think it's only right that if I have some ability, some experience that I can share with a fellow writer that might make his or her, life a little bit easier or the process a little bit less painful, then I'm more than happy to do that.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News, but we'll have you guys on tomorrow to wrap up this week. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's make today amazing. Take care.